My mom and dad are the ones that inspired me to give back to the community. I grew up with my mom being a nurse and my dad being a psychiatric nurse. And he later went into a career of real estate. And I could see him giving back, volunteering, and still being an effective realtor. So it's just the life that I grew up with, and I'm continuing on giving back to my community in the same way that my parents did.
Attending a property with my managing broker. At the time, I was new into the industry within a year of becoming licensed. And the listing agent commented that he was surprised to see him there. This individual he had a lot of respect for, and it was very important that he present well. But it just really shows how much professionalism carries you in this industry and how much others look to it. And so for myself, it really spoke to the fact that I want to make sure that I show professionalism, because I think it rubs off on others and it really carries through as we work through transactions and work with clients and others in the industry.
When I first started as a realtor, I was only 22. And at the time, I had maybe about $200 in my account. And somebody was kind enough to give me a helping hand, give me a place to stay, give me warmth, give me blankets. I couldn't have done this and made it this far without people's help. And now that I have the knowledge, I have the experience, I have the ability, it's really, really important for me to give back, whether it's through to the colleague in the industry or the community that have given me the opportunity.
Well, it happened very early in my career in an offer presentation that I got to do in a seller's home. And from the moment the door opened and this professional realtor opened that door, and he was so incredibly courteous and then massaged what I had written for the benefit of everybody. But as well, that calm demeanor, that made all the difference in the world to making that come together. It left an impression on me, and I worked hard to do that all the way through my career.
My name is Ron Antelek.
My name is Kevin Skipworth.
My name is Margaret Wong.
My name is Sandra Wyatt,
And
I'm a
realtor.
realtor.
Good morning, and welcome to the REALTORS Care and Professional Excellence Awards announcement ceremony. I'm Daniel John, Chair of the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver. The video montage you just watched exemplifies the very best of our profession, the charitable spirit and commitment to professionalism that so many of you demonstrate with your clients and colleagues day in and day out. I'd like to thank Ron, Kevin, Margaret, and Sandra for sharing those wonderful stories with us. I'd also like to thank all of you for joining us this morning. Today's online event is an opportunity to celebrate our profession. Through our awards program, we recognize excellence within the realtor community. We shine a spotlight on our peers who, through their accomplishments, elevate and bring honor to our profession. Let's get started. First up, we'll announce our REALTORS Care Award recipient for 2021. This award honors REBGV members who demonstrate a sustained commitment to charitable, fundraising, or volunteer activities that strengthen communities and support people in need. Recipients of this award are community champions who work selflessly to help people when they need it the most. Past recipients include Debbie Pierce, Jody Squires, Laura Lee Shaw, and John Patricelli. It's my pleasure to announce the next name to add to that list. And this year's recipient is Ron Basra and Phil Moore.
They described this as one every 500 years. But this was 2 days of torrential rain that caused all of this flooding and highways to be washed out. And people were on top of cars and farms were flooded. It was pure devastation. So they had no food, they had no water, and they were in dire need of help.
Well, I clearly remember the day. It was Tuesday, November 16th, and I was watching how Hope was completely isolated from the rest of the province. And there were over 1,000 people that were from Lower Mainland that were stuck. I actually heard one of my clients' daughter and her husband, they both lost their lives. And I just felt that I don't know how I can make a difference if I wasn't able to make a difference to those two people, but there are many other people that are stuck. I wanted to do something. How do I do it though? And that's when I reached out to my good friend Phil Moore, and I asked Phil, like, look, I don't want to hear no. And he replied back, how can I help?
All we really knew is we had 100% intention. And we didn't really have a mechanism of how to get the food there. But, you know, realtors are good at cold calling. So we started calling helicopter companies.
I must have reached out to closer to 15 to 20 helicopter companies. I remember my first call, and they're like, what do you want to do? You want to actually take food, buy a helicopter to Hope? I go, yeah.
And we offered to them to cover their gas. And the response was, if you'll cover the gas, we'll deliver all the food you bring to us. And that's when the game was on.
So I got a call from Ron Bassara at my office, who had just gotten off the phone with Phil. And it was hours after hearing that people had been stranded, not days, but hours. He said, we're going to do something to help. He didn't even know what it was at the point. And less than 5 hours later, they were loading a truck full of goods to go into a helicopter.
I reached out to social media to put the call out for realtors to help. We had realtors dropping off food in Vancouver. We had realtors dropping off food directly at the helicopter hangar.
Those 5 or 6 days, I must have received about closer to 5,000 text messages, calls, emails.
It was overwhelming. The community of realtors that came together to help this initiative was just incredible.
That one flight actually ended up being closer to 46 flights.
And both of them never asked a question about how much is this going to cost, how much time are we going to have to spend when we could be otherwise selling real estate. They put their head down and they went. And it was so great to see not only that, but the amount of other realtors in the community that jumped on and without any question helped out as well.
Congratulations, Ron and Phil. It's with great pleasure that I present to you this year's REALTORS Care Award.
Well, there's certainly been many incredible leaders that have won this award before, so it feels privileged to be in great company. Although this was a real team initiative, it was a real estate community that came together to make a difference. Really, this is their award. It wouldn't be possible without their help, and a sincere thank you.
I'd like to dedicate this award to all the realtors that helped us out. We could not have done this work without you guys, without the realtors. We did this work not because of this, we just wanted to make a difference. And knowing the fact that we made a difference, it's one of my proudest moments of my life. I've known Phil for 25 years, and I have always seen him dressed the way that he's dressed, other than when he goes and works out. When he was helping out, when he came in not wearing a suit, I was just shocked to see him. Phil, not only you're one of the best realtors, you're a better human being. I could not have done this work without you, and I really mean that. And I hope our friendship lasts for another 25, 30, 40, 50 years.
In November of 2015, myself and Ron found ourselves on a leadership course in the middle of California, building 2 baseball diamonds for a community in California. And the things that we learned on this leadership course in 2015 came into play in November of 2021. So it's been an incredible journey. We're on to the next project.
Thank you both. Your quick action and hard work in a time of crisis in our province provided much needed relief to countless people. Now, it's time to announce the recipient of the Professional Excellence Award. This award honors professionalism in real estate. It's for colleagues who've made a lasting impression, whose careers year in and out have epitomized integrity, knowledge, ethics, leadership, community service, and mentorship. The Professional Excellence Award is our highest honor. Receiving it means that you've been exemplary, not for a moment or for a year or two, but throughout your entire career. Previous recipients include Rosemary Barnes, Judy White, Josh Bath, Sheila Francis, and Cal Lindbergh. And now, it's time to announce this year's recipient. The Professional Excellence Awards goes to Scott Russell.
I met Scott probably 30 years ago, and I didn't meet him as a realtor. I met him at a coach for my 6-year-old son's baseball. And I'll never forget how impressed I was with him just as an individual. He was wonderful with the children. He was a coach for all the right reasons. It wasn't about him, it was about the kids, and that left a real lasting impression with me. And it was not till sometime shortly after that we connected on the real estate side, and I realized that he comes from a real estate family. His mother was a legend in the real estate industry. So he's grown up in real estate. He knows real estate as well as anybody I know. So he knows the regulatory side of the business, the technical side of the business, but most importantly, he's a true people person. When you think about real estate professional, high on that list would be Scott. He cares about the industry. He cares about how the public views our members. He conducts himself always at the highest level of professionalism. He's what people should aspire to be, in my opinion. Whenever I've asked him to cut me a check for something that I'm fundraising for or my wife's fundraising for, he does it immediately. And I know within his own company, they are a very philanthropic and supportive group of offices. Plus volunteering his time, he is a past president of the real estate board, past chair, board member, and president of the BCREA. He and I have been involved in many committees, many task forces, many areas of the education side of the industry over the decades, and he's probably one of the most respected people in the business. That's why, I think this award is so appropriate, because he's been selfless over decades in his volunteerism for the industry and all of the things that he's been involved in. But there's a reason for that, because he has had a lot to contribute. He's very knowledgeable, really has achieved a great deal to all of our benefit, in my opinion.
Congratulations, Scott. I've had the privilege to work and be mentored by you over the years, so I know firsthand how deserving you are of this honor.
Well, I feel very humbled. It's been a good run, and it's a great ride, but it's a very humbling experience. Professionalism is important because that's how we get better, and we really want to. I think all of us want to make the mark, our little mark, on our business lives and our professional lives and our personal lives. That we leave the place a little bit better than we found it, and I think that we have to constantly strive to get better, and it really does. The cream does rise to the top, and that's people spot professional behavior, and they know what that looks like, and it's a very powerful tool. I'd like to thank my family, first of all, my mom and dad, my wife Kathy, and our 3 children, the team at Seafair. Many of those people I've worked with for a long, long time, and we grew up together. The group at REBGV, the staff there have been tremendous. Tina, Arnell, Kim, Craig, Eileen, Brad, and the late Bob Wallace. They all had a tremendous impact on my life, and they're great people. I guess from the realtor community, special notes to Oris Perry, Rob Chickadees, George Pahud, Dave Watt, Brian Naftali, Jake Muldowan, and David Peerless. These people have all had a tremendous influence on my life, and I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you, Scott. Congratulations for your many contributions to the profession throughout your career. This brings us to the end of this event. I'd like to again thank and congratulate Scott, Phil, and Ron for being named this year's award recipients. Each of you have done great, inspiring work in the Realtor name. Finally, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today. Until next time, I'm Daniel John, Chair of your board. Have a great day.